So let's go ahead and find a comfortable position with a pillow or a block or a bolster, just something to support our lumbar spine. And just notice our biomechanics in this moment. So maybe noticing a little bit of discomfort and just dropping right into that self-compassion practice of where you are right here, right now. And so for me, I always like to encourage just taking a moment and swaying from right side and the left side, very similar to the movement of a pendulum. And by grabbing a hold of that fleshy part of our bum and spreading it gives us a little extra mobility, a little extra spaciousness, and it's a little vulnerable. And so just kind of noticing that for a moment. Always an option to extend the legs outward or to cross at the ankle or shin, or even if this does feel available and accessible in this moment, after you have noticed your own body in a seated position, maybe even coming forward or back, and we're just going to stay here to establish our breath. Oh, so softening the gaze, maybe even finding one spot to diffuse the focus. So whether that is focusing on a spot at eye level or focusing on a spot down, but just diffusing it. So not hyper focus, but just creating a bit more of a calm relief. And then maybe even closing the eyes, placing the palms upward. We'll begin with 3 rounds of adaptogenic breathing, adapting to where you are here now. Inhale with me for 4, exhale for 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more rounds just like that, maybe even providing that light constriction to the back of the throat. You can think of when create that ah sound, but with a closed mouth. So inhaling, exhale, inhale, and exhale. I suggest using this throughout the practice, adapting to the different postures, and remembering that pain tells us to back away. Discomfort is something that can be looked at with curiosity as an invitation to stay and notice. This practice is going to be slow, soothing, tuning to our autonomic nervous system, the expression of rest and digest, create sustainability in our overall movement. Our overall movement. Placing one hand on the heart, one hand on your belly. Feel free to repeat this internally. May this practice heal and strengthen both our bodies and our minds. May this practice heal and strengthen both our bodies and our minds. Just gently honoring your body, your mind, your heart with a gentle, just bowing. And on the next inhale, bring your arms up over your head, opening the eyes, just a little stretch, open, close the hands, activating the proprioception in our hands. Deep breath in and exhale. Go ahead and create that 90-degree elbow. And again, inhale, extend upward, shrug, unshrug, release, coming back to that 90 degrees. Beautiful. And again, inhale, extend up. Exhale, 90 degrees. And just noticing maybe as we're going to go through it 3 more times, what does it feel like for it to be active as you inhale, active as you exhale? For me, it's squeezing the shoulder blades, opening the chest, opening the heart, versus creating more of a floppy. So inhale, open, and then then exhale, inhale, extend overhead, and exhale slowly, gently, 90-degree elbow. And last one, inhale up and exhale, squeezing the shoulder blades, open the chest, open the heart, and release. Going into just a gentle axle rotation to promote digestion, and then also very much supporting our shoulder girdle as we inhale, extending up, look up, and exhale, open up to the right side. So it's going to look like the opposite for me. And then using the right fingertips, creating just little arches, pressing into the mat. Inhale, extend, lengthen up, and exhale, slowly, gently begin to twist that gentle axle rotation here. Inhale is lengthening, and exhale is twisting. Never needing to go past that 4 out of 10 intensity. It's a very gentle opening. On the next inhale, head to center. And then have your arms follow as you come all the way up, up, up. Yeah. And release other side using the left fingertips, pressing into the mat. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. So just think of twisting from the abdomen. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. And again, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. Bringing the head back first with the inhale, and then bring the arms up like a yes, embodiment for yes, and release. Go ahead and just start kicking our feet a little bit. It's really interesting is as we're actively awakening the proprioceptors in our feet, this is a way of creating energy. This is a way of bringing up neural pathways, activating stimulation, all of these things just by simply patting it out and coming over to tabletop. I'm just going to bring my mat a little bit further and then using a pillow or anything needed for support for the knees. And then I just want to do a little check-in with you as far as coming. Yeah, beautiful, having the 2 fist distance between the knees. And then also just noticing how does it feel to be in tabletop? Does it feel like there's support here? Does it have any sensation? We'll just use a thumb up, thumb down. Okay, in the middle. Okay, let's be very mindful. So as we're spreading our fingers wide, we're just going to protract the shoulders. So I'm loading most of my weight in the knees. So that's why also you can go ahead and use the pillow. We're just going to do a little cat-cow just to see how this feels. But we can also go back to seated or even on a chair cat-cow. So we're just going to use our thumb to dictate. Okay, here. All right, we'll go tabletop for now. So spreading the fingers wide, keeping the shoulders in line with the wrist. Protract. Release the weight of the head, and slowly, gently, as you bend the elbows, allow the elbow crease to swivel forward to protect your wrist. And slowly, gently, piking your hips, look up. And we're going to go very slow with these cat-cows and slowly protract, scoop the tailbone in, release the weight of the head. 2 more full rounds. Coming through that neutral flat back, pike the hips, look up, release. Sip of air in. Exhale, curl round, protract the shoulders, scoop the tailbone in. Last round, coming through very, very gentle, noticing your own biomechanics, noticing the articulation that you are creating here with your spine. And release. Coming into child's pose, release the weight of the head, allow your forehead to make contact with the mat as you begin to slowly, gently walk your fingertips away from you to provide a little extra length and just seeing how that feels. Let's just notice that. If it doesn't feel nourishing or supportive, we're going to back away from it. And just noticing in this moment, beautiful, thank you. And go ahead and walk your fingertips closer to the right side. So starting with the right fingers, just allow them to make contact with the edge of your mat. Still, forehead is in contact with the mat as you allow your left fingertips to walk over onto the right hand, feeling that nice stretch in the side body as you take a deep breath in. And exhale, maybe even creating an audible exhale in these stagnant poses as we're not utilizing as much energy. And so you can keep an open mouth if it feels good. Deep breath in and exhale, sighing it out. On your next inhale, walking the fingertips and allowing the head to make contact if it has lost its contact. And then just noticing your fingertips as the left hand is going to make its way to the edge of the mat and the right fingertips are going to go over onto the left. Press into the mat. Deep breath. Exhale. Ha. And again, take a nice deep letting go breath. And exhale, slowly, gently releasing all the air. And then on your next inhale, bring yourself back to center. Allow your hands to walk all the way back to tabletop. Just keeping the shoulders in line with the wrists, allowing the elbow crease to swivel forward. Micro bend, maybe even in the elbows, and just allow the hips to go from side to side. Maybe even coming forward and back if that feels good. Just allowing that organic spinal movement patterns to be created on their own and noticing what feels good and what doesn't feel good. And knowing that concept of contrast, it shows up here as it shows up outside of the mat, allowing contrast to be an awareness of what we don't want. And then we are aware, maybe even more aware of what we do want. So the good, all of these things, just practicing mindfulness, noticing without judgment. And then when you're ready, protract the shoulders, tuck the toes, and release. I want to check in with you to make sure if we tuck the toes, lift the knees, that's going to feel good. Yeah, let's see. Okay, protract the shoulders, beautiful. Lift the knees, bear pose. Go ahead and engage the core, release any stress or tension in the head, gently nodding and shaking. Gently nodding and shaking, holding for 3, for 2, for 1. Walk your hands like feet all the way to the back of your mat. Bend your knees. Very, very gooey. Bend, bend, bend. Grabbing opposite elbows. Release the weight of the head. Let's create a little somatic sway as we're tuning to your autonomic nervous system. By creating this somatic sway, it's a way of releasing stress. It's a way of coming into this present moment. You can think of a baby being swayed side to side and just giving yourself a little extra love in this moment, activating the parasympathetic nervous system and slowing down the movement for 3. Almost 2 and 1. Release the elbows. Always an option to use pillows or blocks, something to create that flat back as you press into the blocks, press into the pillow, and then on the inhale, coming all the way out and up, palms touch, look up, exhale, release into mountain pose. And just noticing in such what appears to be a simple stance, there's all this activation happening. So as we mentioned, that root to rise, so we're coming up, inhale, bring the shoulders up close to the ears, exhale, slowly, gently roll, squeeze the shoulder blades, palm face away. And then noticing that Pada Bandha. So in this moment, in mountain pose, palm face away, but go ahead and lift the toes. So just the toes. Just noticing that. And imagine for a moment that you're playing a piano with your toes, starting with the pinkies, and then see if you can go one toe at a time, releasing all the way back down to the mat. So this is called Panabandha. It's a foot lock, an energetic foot lock. And again, lift the toes up, pinkies, and then all the way back down. Which is another way of promoting agility and balance. Last one, lift the toes up and all the way back down. And I noticed that you don't see my toes, but hopefully everyone, whoever's watching this, and then our lovely participant can know that I'm talking about my feet. Here we go. Inhale, arms going out and up, palms touch, look up, and exhale, fold forward, bend your knees, making contact, grabbing opposite elbows, and coming back into that somatic sway. Deep breath in. And slow, deep breath out. And again, deep breath in. And slow, deep breath out. Wow. Last one. And release. Once again, flat back. Inhaling, arms going out and up, palms touch, looking up. And exhale, release, squeezing the shoulder blades, allowing the palms to face out. Mountain pose. Gonna do two more here. Inhale, arms going out and up, palms touch, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms going out and up, palms touch, look up. Exhale, release, mountain pose. Last half sun A. Inhale, arms going out and up, palms touch, look up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms going out and up, palms touch, look up. And exhale, release the hands, palms face away. If it's available, grabbing a belt or a strap of some sort. We're going to notice our overhead range of motion just to see how this feels for you. So just creating about maybe 2 feet. And as we inhale, we're going to extend up overhead. And exhale, bring it back down. Just very, very gentle. But this is providing extension, which is helpful with overhead range of motion. And bringing it back down. Always an option to intensify. You can go a little bit wider, but just as a warm-up practice, we're just going to inhale, breath to movement up, unshrug the shoulders, and exhale, release down. Yeah. Last one, just like that. Inhale, up, up, up. And exhale, slowly, gently release back down. And then for this next one, this is the archer. We're just going to see how this feels. So just allowing yourself to attune. So meaning maybe even minimizing distraction for a moment, closing the eyes, and just noticing where it feels accessible to create sustainability. So instead of me feeling like, oh, I got to touch, where can I find a little spaciousness to explore my edges, to promote neuroplasticity and also dopamine and serotonin so I come back to this versus scaring my body off of it. So as I inhale, I open and I begin to pull. If the pulling creates any sort of pain, back away. This is still doing exactly what it needs to do. If it's discomfort and you know that it's just because you haven't stretched this particular region of the body in a while, then just notice a little bit of exploring the edges, and then we'll begin to extend out our exhalation, which is also a way of promoting our parasympathetic. So as we inhale, yeah, let's take a look. Beautiful. Yes. You're going to pull away. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Slow, gentle, deep breath out. And release. So going ahead and just swapping it out, and we'll do a counter pose for both in just a moment. So just setting yourself up, coming back to that awareness, that inner knowing, self-attunement practice. So the top arm can make contact with the thoracic. And then as you pull away, you'll notice a bit more of a stretch in the top. So you're pulling away the bottom hand, creating what appears to be an archer pose. So once again, breathing in for 4, and then extending out your exhalation. So inhaling with me for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe even playing with that light constriction in the back of the throat on the inhalation and exhalation. And again, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and exhale. Then slowly, gently, we'll go ahead and release the strap, putting it off to the side. Let's do a little counter pose. Inhale, arms going out and up, palms touch, look up. And then exhale, just go ahead and create a bit of an isometric activation as we press our palms together, wing out the elbows, grazing the mind, grazing the nose, honoring our sensory system and our mouth, and bringing it to prayer. And then release. And then go ahead and just create an X. We'll just do a little havening, maybe a little self-massage of just allowing the arm muscles to relax. Maybe just noticing how that felt. Just these gentle self-touch practices can really help promote soothing sensation, really help tune to your autonomic nervous system, moving out of fight, flight, freeze into a state of homeostasis, and then reverse if that feels good. Just a little bit of havening and self-touch. If it's available and accessible, we're going to come to a wall because I'm just wanting to see how this would feel also for the upper body to create a little extra lengthening. So if there's a wall, yeah, okay. So I'll go ahead and demo it first. So I set this all up, but I'm noticing that I need to move some of this. So I'm going to go underneath this. And all I'm doing is walking my hands up. So it's a variation of hangman pose. This is one I come to every day because it has helped with breathing, which is really fascinating. But it just shows you how everything is so interwoven and interconnected. So as I'm walking my hands upward, it's almost like I'm giving the wall a high five, and I'm noticing the chest. It's not maybe making full contact with the wall, but as you hinge from the hips, you'll be able to create a little bit more extra space. So we can even imagine this as a downward facing dog, but on the wall. So walking your feet away can intensify the stretch. Coming closer and walking your hands upward, bending your knees can create a little extra ease. So just noticing for yourself, and this can feel intense. And so what I'd like us to do is play with modification. Notice what we can hold in this moment and through time under passive tension, using our breath as awareness. And then noticing our body begin to release, relax. Those 3 principles can help support sustainability. So as you take a breath in, we're going to extend out to 7, inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, creating that light constriction to the back of your throat. Maybe even imagining with your eyes closed a hose with water pouring out. And when you twist the hose, you manipulate where the water goes. It's very similar to our breath. So we create this light constriction as we deep breath in and deep breath out. And again, inhale, belly, rib, clavicle bones, and exhale. Slowly, gently, to get out of this, bend your knees more. Protract your shoulders. Protract your shoulders. Allow your head to hang. And just slowly, gently come in closer to the wall, coming back into that self-havening, that gooey. We're just holding ourselves. Yeah, beautiful. And you're gonna allow yourself to give yourself a hug as your counter pose. So you're just gonna squeeze your shoulders together and just notice, yeah, notice that this form of lengthening can create so much spaciousness, but because we live in a society where it's just so fascinating to notice how much contraction, how much protraction we make, that even just doing this for a few minutes or a few seconds a day, you'll start to notice like more breath awareness, more chest expansion. That's what I've found. It's been really helpful with breath work. We're just going and giving ourselves a little extra love, maybe a little smile on our face, just squeezing, giving lots of hugs. And then we're going to move into the lower part of our body. So using a chair or a stool. And sometimes I'll even put like a pillow or something, just seeing how it levels. So we're going to do the half squats, which are really helpful with the asymmetrical and attuning to one side or the other. Yeah. So taking all the time you need. And once you feel all set up and sturdy out, I sometimes put on the mat so it doesn't accidentally um, do something that it wouldn't be beneficial for me. I don't know what I'm saying. So here we go. So just noticing in this moment that I sometimes have a tendency of putting my knee over my toes. For this particular posture, it's okay for a little bit of slight, but oftentimes we want to protect the knees, and I'll always cue like don't go over your toes. But what we're going to do is scoop the tailbone in. We have this outward rotation of the bent knee, and then we're going to call this our supporting leg. It can have a micro bend, so we don't hyperextend. And I have even my feet slightly turned out. So we have outer rotation kind of on both. And then we're just going to notice, I even like to palpate my own body, these hip flexors. That's what we're going for here. So as we scoop the tailbone in, C-grip the waist to activate our transverse abdominis, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, we're going to begin at the flat back and then fold all the way over. So this is another gravity, flexibility, posture, shape that we're making as we're releasing the weight of our head. We're not going to hold this one past 30 seconds today, but this is one that you wanted to come back to daily. We'll kind of review those three principles. So time under passive tension. So think of this as your passive tension not going past a 4 out of 10. And you're going to notice one side is a little different than the other. And that's why the asymmetrical poses can be really helpful with sciatica and any sort of stress or tension in our pelvis or hip flexors. So beginning with time under passive tension, then moving into the second principle, which is using the breath, sending out the exhalation. So let's begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping that breath. Third principle is allowing the body to become like a noodle. So allowing the body to relax into this experience. On your next inhale, creating a flat back, C-grip your waist coming all the way up, up, up. Ooh, and just placing one hand on the heart, one hand on the abdomen as we were inverted for a bit there, and just maybe softening the gaze, breathing in and breathing out. Go ahead and begin to face now. So squaring out the hips, we're going to just look at this from a counter pose perspective, kind of like a little dynamic lunge. So even though you might not have arms on your chair, you can use the back of the chair and just dynamically allowing yourself to go forward and back. Just seeing how that feels versus us doing runner's lunges on the mat. We're just using the support of the chair. So maybe coming in just a little bit and then extending out. It doesn't have to be full half splits or anything along that measure, but we were holding a pose that was stagnant and we're just providing some dynamic movement as a counter pose for 3 and 2 and 1. Let's go ahead and release. Shake it out, shake, 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 and then move to the other side. So once again, just setting us up here, noticing that slight tuck of the tailbone, outward rotation. Inhale, bring your shoulders up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, see your grip, beautiful. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, slight micro bend in that supporting leg, coming to the flat back, and then release. Sometimes I'll use a weight, and then other times I'll just simply interlace my fingers. But whatever feels available, you can even use the support of the chair. And then we're coming back, just allowing my voice to be a guide. So we're coming back to those 3 principles, remembering the first principle is time under passive tension. And remembering that it takes 2 minutes for the body to actually get the hint that we're not running from tigers and bears. Oh my, we're just practicing yoga. And so this is a way in which we can go ahead and attune to our autonomic nervous system. So today we're not holding it for 2, but it's just something to think about if you were to begin practicing this daily and maybe even weekly, moving it up a few seconds and finally getting to that 2-minute mark. And then coming back to the second principle, which is the breath awareness. So as you inhale, belly, ribs, clavicle bones, and then exhale twice as long, activating your parasympathetic. Inhale with me for 1, 3, 4. Exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and exhale. Just continuing this breath as we move into the third principle is allowing your body to be a noodle. Just allowing it to release. And knowing when we practice these more challenging poses on the mat, this is a way of also off the mat, noticing when any stress or tension arises, we can use our breath. Come back to this moment, the present moment. As you inhale, go ahead and sea grip your waist, coming all the way up slowly, gently, placing the right hand on the heart, left hand on the abdomen. Deep breath in and release. Deep breath out. And again, deep breath in. And slow, gentle, deep breath out. Let's go ahead and open our eyes, squaring the hips off. And we're just going to go once again, doing a little bit of that dynamic counter pose. So imagine it as like a runner's lunge, but we're just doing it on the chair for 3 and 2 and 1. Go ahead and release, shake it out. You full body shake, and maybe just noticing how your hip flexors feel now compared to how they felt previously. And we'll go ahead and make our way down to the mat with our sun salute. So let's go ahead and inhale, arms going out and up, palms touch, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, we're going to go ahead and step back to high plank, lower the knees, untuck the toes, coming into child's pose. And go ahead and walk your fingertips away, creating an active child's pose as you press your fingertips, claw the mat, lift the elbows up, feel a little extra length, and then slowly, gently lower the elbows, coming all the way up, up, up to tabletop, tabletop. And then we're going to go ahead in tabletop, lean forward and slowly lower ourselves all the way down, all the way down. And from here, go ahead and bend the elbow. I'll go ahead and fix my camera. So you're going to bend the elbows. You're on your belly. And you're going to allow your hips to go from side to side, just releasing any stress or tension here in your pelvis. You can think of shaking your hips like Elvis. So you're bending your elbows. You can allow either ear to make contact with your hands, and then you're just shaking your hips from side to side. This is another somatic sway. So I'm infusing a lot of different somatic practices as we are attuning to some of these more difficult postures, and maybe even just releasing the label as difficult and finding accessibility within these postures. 2 more deep breaths in, and exhale, release. Go ahead and slow down the sway. Allow the forearms to make contact with the mat as we go into Sphinx pose, which is a really wonderful reset. So fingertips are facing forward. Forearms are in contact with the mat. This should feel really good. If it doesn't, let me know with a thumbs down. Beautiful. Um, if you'd like, you can go and extend up a little bit, or we can just stay right here in Sphinx. One more breath in, and one more breath out. Slowly, gently curl around, walk your hands back into tabletop here. Back in the tabletop and allowing your hips to go from side to side. And then making your way back to a seated position on your pillow, block, or bolster. And then maybe even just extending out your legs, moving the shin bone back if that feels good. On the right side, the left side. Go ahead and end our practice today with 3 rounds of box breathing. 3 rounds of box breathing. That's where we'll breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale 4, and hold for 4 at the bottom. Go ahead and slow down our sway in 3, and 2, and 1. And then you get to choose whatever feels accessible and comfy for you. And then go cross-legged, and then placing one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. I will count as you breathe. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more rounds, just like that. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in fully. Exhale completely. Feel free to repeat this internally. May this practice heal and strengthen both our bodies and our minds. May this practice heal and strengthen both our bodies and our minds. Taking a moment with your eyes still closed, softening your gaze, hand on your heart. And as you're palpating your own body, touching your belly, touching your heart, noticing the contact, focus your attention on your heart for a moment. Some people imagine sending energy to their heart. Some people simply just focus their attention with the intention of noticing, becoming even more aware of your heart and breathe. And again, to your heart and breathe. Remembering thoughts, feelings, emotions, they come and they go. And if your mind wanders, that's okay. Just coming right back to your heart and breathe. Deep breath in, slow, like a wave, deep breath out. And when you're ready, no rush, slowly, gently opening your eyes, stretching your arms up over your head, saying the word yes, and release. Sending so much love. Thanks for practicing with me today. Mm.